Hi everyone, this is Lao Chun. 20 years of my American life continue. After leaving from Polish family, I visited Manhattan, Chinatown again to find Chinese restaurant work as a delivery man. I always consider New York Chinatown as my hometown in overseas. I found my first job in clothing factory in Chinatown. Whenever I want to have a new job, I always come back to Chinatown to visit job agents near Yidong Tea House to find a new one. I'm very familiar with Chinatown, so I want to introduce a real Chinatown to you. Manhattan Chinatown, located Lower Manhattan, have 3 different areas. North we call the traditional Chinatown, also called Old Chinatown or Cantonese Chinatown, because the most residents live in this area is Cantonese or is from Taishan area. They cannot speak English. Even they are Americans, they still live in Chinese sub-society in the United States. They speak Cantonese, eat Chinese food, meet Chinese friends, live in Chinese style. Their ancestors are from Canton province. Most is from Taishan. 100 years ago, participated in the construction of the United States, crossed the east and the west of the Great Railway, and finally bear the burden of humiliation, experienced the period of the Chinese ex-Chinese Act. Now, Chinatown, after Cantonese cuisine has introduced Shanghai, Beijing, Hunan, Sichuan, other dishes to Chinatown. Lot of travelers and Chinese from all over the world visit this area, enjoy the authentic Chinese food. The old Chinatown considered Mott Street as the center. Totally have 45 streets. Around Mott Street, Elizabeth Street, Bayard Street have a lot of famous Chinese restaurants and tea house. The most famous tea house called Golden Unicorn. This is very traditional Cantonese dim sum. I used to bring my wife out visit this tea house. The dim sum is so delicious and also very expensive. When we enjoy this dim sum and tea in this restaurant, we saw a lot of Americans also sit down nearby us. They are very happy to enjoy this dim sum and meet friends. Also have a lot of Chinese souvenir store, urban store, most offer ginseng, and lot of jewelry stores around the Canal Street. This is the most attractive area in Chinatown. The second area we call the New Chinatown, also called Fuzhounese Chinatown, located in the south of Chinatown. New Chinatown developed from old Chinatown just 30 years, 40 years ago. The residents in this area, most is Fuzhounese. The most famous snakehead, Zheng Cuiping, we call the Pingji, help 200,000 Fuzhounese from Fuzhou into the United States. This street is their first stop. Also, lot of work here and live here. This street have a lot of Fuzhounese restaurant, Fuzhounese souvenir, and something else. Different from older Chinatown, the new Chinatown have some new business. First is bus companies. Have a lot of bus companies in New Chinatown. the driver, boss, is for Chinese. They deliver lot of Chinese from Chinatown to east area of the United States. From north, New York, upstate, Ohio, Chicago to South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, even to Florida. They have a very busy bus line from New York to Philadelphia. Only cost $10. The tickets is much cheaper than Greyhound. Also have a lot of Americans use this bus line to save their money. Second is have an underground business in this area. They made a bone, make something else, offer to store, to sell. Underground dentists, underground clinics, black market lodging, and underground mahjong gamblings, and etc. This area also have a lot of Chinese restaurant wholesale company offer restaurant food and tours something to East area states. This is the new Chinatown. Consider East Broadway as a center. Third part of Chinatown called Tribeca area. Tribeca area is in west side of Chinatown, facing Hudson River. This area is called the best residential area in Chinatown. Have a lot of beautiful buildings and houses in this area. The most residents are Chinese second generation or third generation. They very different from their parents or grandparents. They can speak very good English and have a good education. Most of them work in office or financial position. They don't want to follow their parents or grandparents to work in Chinese restaurant. In this area, have some nursing house, charge 10,000 a year, and have a very good service. Some people disagree with my opinion. They say Tribeca doesn't belong to Chinatown because there are not so many Chinese restaurants and shops on street, and not so many Chinese sites on street. I said before, a lot of Chinese live in Tribeca, but they totally integrate English culture society. This is why Tribeca looks not like Chinatown. People always ignore this area. Actually, this is the part of Chinatown. This area consider Tribeca as a center. So Chinatown have 3 parts. This is people should know. Don't forget visit New Chinatown and Tribeca area. My wife and I visited New Chinatown Yidong Tea House. In this house, the price is cheaper than unit home, and customers were almost totally Chinese. When we enjoy this dim sum, a lot of Chinese were very interested in my wife using chopsticks. When my wife slipped a shrimp dumpling from chopsticks to table, they totally laughing at her. So made my wife very embarrassed. But my wife uses chopsticks very good now. She like Chinese dim sum, especially like shrimp dumpling. I always bring her to meet my Chinese friend. Enjoy dim sum in Chinatown tea houses. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.